Right, so what I wanted to do, first of all, is get my slides up, so that's good. So what I wanted to do is really reflect on a number of the things that we've heard today. You know, there's huge advances in technology. We've heard all about AI and you know, what the future looks like. We've heard about storytelling, and we've heard about the risks that we all face in today's society with cybercrime. I think what's important is that we consider that technology alone is only potential. I think that's something I really want you to think about, and it's about how we use it, how we operationalize it, and how we use it the right way that empowers people and our organizations to truly deliver world-class performance. And I'm just going to go and explore through this next 30 minutes how we can make that happen together. But before I start, there's a quote up there. I wanted to reflect on a quote from Abraham Lincoln. So, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. And I think that's a really important quote for us to think about and reflect. And it's not about sharpening axes and cutting down trees, really. It's about preparation. It's about having the right skills, the right tools, and the right foundation before you start. So, you know, again, think about that. Imagine you've put loads of effort, loads of time, loads of resource into something, and it doesn't quite work out the way you expected. Is it because the tools didn't work as expected? Is it because the colleagues hadn't used the tools properly? You know, the frustration that you feel, the scrutiny and the lost opportunity. This is why this really matters. A personal story. So a while ago, I received a phone call out of the blue from an IT director of a large company, and he sounded really stressed. Jonathan, he said, we're 4 weeks into a 16-week AI project with a large consultancy and a very large technology company, and it's not going at all well. We didn't bring you in at the start, but we do need your help now to fix it. So I thought, okay, well, that's, you know, we are where we are. You know, I asked the obvious question, can we arrange a meeting? You know, we really want to understand where you're at, the problems you're experiencing, and what outcomes you're trying to achieve. And from there, of course, we can help. But his answer back to me was brutal and somewhat unsurprising. It was, we don't have time for that. We just need it fixed, and we need it fixed now, and we need you to help. So I was a bit taken aback. I said, okay, fair enough. You know, I could have turned around and said, yes, of course, we'll do our best to help. But I didn't. Instead, I took a step back and I said, look, we're going to help, but we want to do it right. And to do it right, we need that meeting. I knew the importance of getting it right for all parties concerned. I knew there'd be many eyes watching, and if it went wrong, it wouldn't be good for anyone. So we committed to it. You know, lots of pressure, lots of high focus, and said lots of eyes watching. So we got the team together, we rolled up our sleeves, we got involved, and the result, we delivered the project on time. We shaved minutes off every single call that they were trying to achieve through AI and automation. Their customers got serviced quicker, so they had a better level of service experience. The efficiency for the business went up, and the cost to serve reduced. So really good, but it was actually about, you know, what are we trying to do? What problem is it we're trying to solve, and how do we work together to get that outcome? That story isn't unusual. You know, it's something that we've seen many, many times before, and it illustrates a really important point that technology on its own is never enough, and without operationalizing it, without really embedding it into the business, it is only potential. And our goal is to work with customers to turn that potential into world-class performance. So modern technology, we've heard about you know, some of the technology available today, and a look into the future as well. So AI, automation, analytics, they're all very powerful. But unless we understand the outcomes, what we need to deliver for the business, and how we're going to embed it within the organization and the operations, it will remain that, just potential, not performance for the business. So, quick show of hands, audience participation. Who's invested in technology that hasn't quite delivered what you expected? Let's have a show of hands. Yeah? Okay, maybe there'll be some more hands. We're all amongst friends here, but okay, that's the first one. So who's seen projects drift as no one really owns them? Yeah, probably a few more hands gone up there. So I know that feeling. It's very frustrating. You know, weeks will turn into months. Expectations are high. People want to see the results from the investment that you've made. And of course, you're then left with that sense of dread. Are we actually going to be able to achieve what we've set out to achieve, what we've signposted? You know, the technology isn't delivering what we've communicated. So you've seen this potential slip through your fingers. You've felt the board breathing down your neck. You know, your colleagues are waiting, the teams are stressed, and of course the clock keeps ticking. And that feeling, if we don't get it right, you know, it's going to be a real problem. We're going to fail. It's all too real. And that's why operationalizing technology really matters, because the difference is it's not about who's got the latest tools or the biggest budget. It's about who knows how to harness that technology to work and support your people to really achieve some great things. So picture this, you walk into the office tomorrow. You've spent a lot of money, you've invested in a lot of technology, you've bought cloud platforms, AI tools, automation engines, unified communications, and contact center technologies, right? You were told that every single tool would transform your business. It's going to make a big difference to you. Every system is designed to make your life easier. Yet, when you reflect, nothing seems easier. You know, these emails and messages keep piling up faster than anyone can respond. Customers are stuck on hold, they're frustrated. You know, they start to hang up, calls drop in the middle of critical conversations, and these important communications just drift into the void. Customers don't pick up your communication when you contact them, and the complaints start to rise and online reviews start to slip. And of course, that has an impact on people. Their morale starts to reduce, and the office, it feels like a pressure cooker, right? You know, teams are spinning these plates, they're firefighting, and they're reacting to yesterday's problems, not focusing on tomorrow's opportunity and shaping it. So again, in short, you've bought potential, but is it really delivering the performance that you set out to achieve? And that's, you know, that's our role. That's what we're here to do, is to work with customers to turn this potential into world-class performance. And we should be looking at how we make technology to work for people, not the other way around. I think that's really important. And the hard truth, most organizations don't fail because they lack technology. They fail because they don't fully operationalize it. So it's about connecting the technology to the why. It's about how we adopt it. It's about outcome validation, continuous improvement, and of course, human skills development, right? And without that, even the most shiniest, the most advanced tools will sit idle. There'll be brilliant potential, but zero impact. And there's one thing I see time and time again. It's the difference between projects that succeed and those that stall, and it's ownership. And it's, you know, ownership isn't just about somebody who approves the spend and signs an order and maybe schedules some meetings or is there to roll out new technology. It's about a real named individual, somebody that wakes up each morning and, you know, asks these questions, right? Are we achieving the outcomes that we promised? Are people adopting the tools? Are our processes evolving to get the most out of them? And are we learning, iterating, and improving every single day? And it's that mindset that's really important when we look at technology. It's not a panacea, it's not a magic wand. We need to make sure it's actually used and deployed and developed with purpose. So without that kind of responsibility, projects drift. Responsibility, of course, it becomes somebody else's problem. Vendors will deliver technology as asked, and you know, consultants will deliver great reports and slide decks, But if no one is owning this within the business and steering that change, potential will stay just that, potential. So we like to try and do things differently, and I always say that our role is to sit on the same side of the table as the customer. We're there to share the pressure, to understand and share the vision, to guide, to support, and as I said, to roll up our sleeves, to make things happen. And when we work with an owner, a change maker in a business, somebody with a clear, a shared vision and drive, somebody who wants to make a difference and drive that continual improvement, something truly magical happens. People start to talk openly across the organizations, teams work together in true partnership, and the new technology starts to get embedded in the business and then really embraced with open arms. And the results, well, they're visible, they're measurable, and they're celebrated for all to see. And I love hearing these success stories. I love hearing about the difference that technology has made to people's businesses, but also their lives and how they work and how they operate. And when this ownership is there and it's shared, world-class performance follows. So why does it matter? Well, AI, automation, analytics is not going anywhere. We're going to continue to see greater adoption. But these technologies, it's not just incremental improvements. These technologies really can help organizations to transform and change and develop for good. PwC estimates that AI could add, is a big number, $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030. McKinsey predicts trillions in productivity gain from Gen AI alone. But here's the catch: the risks are just as real. Gartner, we like some stats, Taz, I know this. Gartner reports that only 48% of digital initiatives meet or exceed the business outcomes, and without deliberate investment in leadership, in integration, in adoption, in skills development, and then that focus on continual improvement, 60% of adoption efforts will fail to deliver those benefits that have been signposted. So the opportunity is enormous, but also the gap between potential and performance is even bigger. And of course, we run the risk of falling into that gap. And I've heard it many times before. People say there's a problem with the technology, and the technology is failing, but it's rarely the tools themselves. The problem runs deeper. Success depends on balancing these 5 key areas. So first of all, clarity on the why. Far too often projects start without answering the basics. So why are we doing this? What problem are we solving? How will we know if we've succeeded? And without this clarity, technology struggles to deliver meaningful impact. Technology first, outcome last thinking. So these technologies, cloud, AI, automation, of course, they can make deployments easier, but deployment isn't adoption, and adoption alone isn't impact. And true performance only really comes when the technology is tied to workflows, these measurable outcomes, strategic goals, and actually how people want to work and how they embrace this change. So adoption gaps and skills deficits, and this again, really important. Technology doesn't succeed in isolation. People need the skills, the confidence, and the support to be able to use it. And we are going through a huge change, right? So people aren't born knowing all about AI and how to get the most out of it. And there's various training that can be delivered. So prompting skills, interpreting outputs, and then validating results. And it's about extracting value from this technology, not about merely pressing buttons. Missing outcome validation. So many organizations track activity, but do they track the outcomes that they're achieving? Time saved, improvements in customer experience, revenue increased. Without this, do you really know if the technology is working the way in which you want it to and delivering that benefit? And in fact, the other question is, would you then get the mandate to keep going and investing? Integration and iteration is ignored, so creating perpetual silos, processes remain rigid. All this feedback, these feedback loops that you get, information goes nowhere. And true performance comes from continual review, improvement, refining, and learning from each stage. So as we consider these challenges, it's really important to recognize as well how work itself is changing. And managers, today, they're not box-ticking supervisors. It's about how you interpret AI insights, how you coach and shape the teams, and how you support a process of continual learning and development. And AI is great, and it's brilliant for repetition, automating repetitive tasks, pattern recognition, and analyzing huge amounts of data. But humans excel at judgment, creativity, and guiding decisions where nuance matters. And I think when we put these things together, something extraordinary happens. Decisions genuinely can become smarter, work can become faster, and teams can feel empowered rather than overwhelmed. And it's a new frontier, right? It's that partnership between humans and AI that can really transform performance, not just process. So we take this head on. We do like a challenge, and anyone who knows me personally will know that. Our 6-pillar framework, so up there, is about how we turn potential into measurable performance. So strategic alignment, asking the why question, the important one, so we can get clear outcomes and clear goals, a method to link the technology to the results that we want to deliver together. Integration, so systems need to communicate, data needs to flow across the different systems, and of course, insights need to reach people at the right time to support proactive decision making. People enablement, tech doesn't succeed on its own. Teams need training, confidence, and support, and that's really important. We don't lose sight of that. And with AI, it means learning to ask the right questions in the right way, and then how you interpret the information that you get from it. Process change, we don't just automate old processes. It's important to take the opportunity to look at what you're doing, how it's done. Can greater efficiency be generated, and how then do you automate this, this fit-for-purpose process? Governance and measurement, and again, really important. What gets measured will get done. So how do you measure? How do you understand? And how do you track the improvements? And then finally, support and continuous optimization. And it's important to know that go live is not the finish line. Just because the technology is implemented and it's set up, that is not the end point. And that's something that we're really keen to do with our clients with projects, is to understand the why, understand the outcomes, and then after we've implemented the technology, we've used all of that insight to design the solution in the right way. We want to go in and validate together that we have actually met that change opportunity. We haven't just delivered the technology, we've made a real difference. So it's about embedding technology into the heartbeat of the organization. And it's about empowering people, it's about aligning teams and creating some measurable impact. And when done right, the results are clear. As I said, teams will work smarter, customers will notice, leadership will see the great outcomes that are being delivered, and what was once potential now becomes real, repeatable performance that can scale and evolve. Many organizations will turn to large consultancy firms for digital strategies. We heard about from Amelia about the original view of AI was to sit with the big consultancy firms, but it's out there now. It's in the hands of us all. But the large consultancy firms advising on strategy, the strategies, of course, will be impressive. They'll be polished. They'll be great reports, and they'll be very ambitious. But I think what's really important we shouldn't lose sight of is without real world operational experiences and that you can bring to the table, strategies rarely survive the pressure of day-to-day business. You know, a plan is great until you actually need to start working. You know, things change all the time. So projects will stall, adoption will falter, and outcomes, of course, will be compromised. So too often, initiatives won't deliver what you hope because the consultant leaves and nobody is left behind to drive that change in the business. No one's left behind to make it real. So for us, I think, again, our role is to work with our clients to combine strategy and operational experience, technical experience, and hands-on delivery and change management. So it's not just implementing the technology, it's about working in partnership to truly embed it in the business, to align it to outcomes, to iterate, and to ensure continuous improvement. I think there's obviously lots of quotes. We had a few from Taz, so I've got a few up there. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. We've probably all heard that one before. But for me, it goes a lot further than that. I think experience and capability trumps strategy alone. Experience and capability ensures your strategy is not just visionary, but it's grounded, realistic, and always evolving. And credibility isn't achieved just about talking about change, right? It's about living it. And that's why we're also on the same journey in our business. We're embedding AI and innovation across the organization, safely, systematically, and at scale. It's not theoretical, and again, it's great to hear some of the unknown cues as to what was going to be talked about earlier. But it starts with principles and governance, you know, a clear AI policy, set expectations for responsible use, you know, how you're going to manage data, suitable guardrails, protect security, safeguard customers, and prevent reliance on these hallucinations that can occur. So we're all going through this change today, and it's about methods and policies and procedures to not just implement the technology, but to put the guardrails around it. Human oversight, so AI will create all sorts of things. I know this. I've been using ChatGPT for 3 years now. It's important to check and verify the responses, and it's also important for people to interpret what is being presented and ultimately make that call. And then from there, we move on to practical enablement. Teams need to be trained. They need to be shown how to apply AI and other technologies into their day-to-day working environments. In Britannic, I very much encourage experimentation, looking at how we can automate tasks, how we can use AI to draft communications, not to create all the stuff, but to help to share ideas. Analyze meetings and surfacing up insights. We've provided structured guidance on prompting to ensure that the output is actionable and trustworthy. And for me, it's about AI becoming a partner, not a replacement for people. With AI, teams most definitely can work smarter. They can help to surface up new information that they wouldn't have had exposure to, so make better decisions and explore new ways to add value. One of the projects that, as I said, I've been using ChatGPT for 3 years now, and I saw the potential that we could leverage from it in our own business to reshape workflows, to create content, to surface insights for people, but also to develop colleagues within the business and improve the customer experience. And I'm going to share a couple of examples of what we've done. So one example was Project Genie. Every project's got to have a name, so ours was Project Genie, an AI-powered knowledge hub. And we had struggled with efficient knowledge management and sharing in the business, and aspects like really well-structured onboarding for new colleagues, where people were struggling to find all the information that they needed. So we put a project team together, we consulted every team across the business, we defined the desired outcomes. Everyone was given the opportunity to feed into that, which is so important with any technology change. We built our scope and delivered the project, and we did it actually really quickly within a matter of months. And this AI knowledge hub that we've built, it maximizes our return on investment in Microsoft technology, so CRM, OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, Forms, Power Automate, Power BI and Copilot, and it enhances our understanding and skills of how to use that technology and mobilize it to really make a difference, not just for our business, but for our clients as well. It really has helped to improve internal communication and our onboarding process. And I was really heartened to hear a recent new colleague who joined talking to others about the onboarding experience, and it was the best she'd ever experienced. So great to hear that sort of feedback. And importantly, it's providing access to information. So we've built AI agents, so we can type in, ask a question, and have information served up. We can pull information about policy and procedures, and we're using Gen AI agents again to look across our own ring-fence data to create content that works for us and our customers and our markets. And then the big focus of me as well is learning and development. How do we continue to empower, train, and develop and coach people in the business? Because again, that's our superpower is the people, and we want to help them achieve more personally and professionally. So we're using AI avatar videos to support learning and development, and I think we might even see one of those later. But the result is not just deploying technology, it's about creating this digital workspace that can add value every day, and it's a platform that will build and develop with the business. One other example, we've got partners, Audio Codes here, so we implemented MIA into our business and also the portfolio to initially record and transcribe meetings and create follow-up actions, which of course saving time and improving this follow-up. But very quickly after using the technology, it became apparent we could generate more value from that solution. So what we wanted to do was to analyze performance, we're going to look at quality and highlight opportunities for ongoing learning and development, coaching, training that's personalized, right? It's not across the board, we're understanding where people need help. It was a very exciting time for me. I built a 713-word AI prompt, so I sat there for many hours refining this, and then I ran it against the full meeting transcript. And what we got was a brilliant insights, very structured reports, and now we can understand not just what was said, but we can understand the tone, the engagement, questioning, presentation style, the reactions from clients, and we can, as I said, surface up these areas where we can continue to support, train, and develop our colleagues in the business. So just moving on, conscious of the time. So the other thing is, we're an innovative business. We obviously work in the tech space, so we don't just talk about innovation, we are using it, but we also actively want to encourage the use of technology and the creation of new ideas. So it was 4 years ago I set up the Innovation Hub in the business, where we research, we test, we build, we pilot, and we introduce new and emerging technologies with colleagues, partners, and clients. And the goal was simple. It was about turning this technology potential into real-world solutions that can actually make a difference, that can actually deliver value to the businesses that we work with and the people that work within them. So last year I talked about the Innovation Hub. I talked about some of the in-flight projects and technologies we were working on. I mentioned branded calls and branded messaging and Alexa workflows with SIP integration, wonderful technology. And branded calls and messages went live very shortly after that. It was less than a month. We deployed the solution for the first customer, and it's really great to see it's been adopted more widely across many other clients. And it's really, it's a method. We've heard about the fraud, risk of fraud and impersonations, and one of those boxes up there was a huge amount of SMS messages that are an entry point into fraud. So this solution is helping to boost trust, increase answer rates, increase customer engagement, enhance efficiency, and help to mitigate the fraud risk. We're able to verify these communications, calls and messaging, and present the logo, the reason for contact, so that it's not the unknown. You're not interacting with something that's not a trusted communication. So another one of these innovations was Net Translate. So an AI-powered live language platform. So proper, future stuff here. And it began with a customer coming to us just over a year ago and saying, we're tendering for some business with a Welsh government contract, and we need to be able to support the contract in Welsh language. Can you help? Is it something that you can deliver across your SIP platform, NetX? Now, that's a tough challenge. We didn't know the answer at the time. We didn't know technically if it was possible. We didn't know if it was going to be commercially viable to do this. And we also didn't know if it's going to be desirable in the market. But we like a challenge. We explored it. We took it on. And after a year of research, design, testing and iteration, Net Translate was born. And it's a piece of technology that removes barriers in conversations across languages, right? So a caller will phone up, they'll speak in their native language. So in the first example, it could be Welsh. The person receiving the call doesn't understand what they're talking about. So the technology is automatically translating that Welsh language into the native language of the person they're talking to. So person speaks Welsh, I hear it in English, I speak English, they hear Welsh. And I might have a little video to show you this working shortly. But it's not clunky phrase by phrase translation. It's true natural language translation, and this is really important because it supports and removes these barriers that people have in communicating naturally. Today we support over 79 languages, and there's over 100 for voice and over 100 for text. So why is it game-changing? Well, it provides instant, accurate translations with no apps or manual processes, and it solves some real problems. 29% stat again of businesses lose customers due to lack of multilingual support, and we certainly know this talking to clients. It's very hard to find multilingual speakers, so 85% of businesses struggle to find that resource within their business. And we've spoken to a lot of public sector organisations about the technology, and amazingly billions are spent in the UK every year on translation services that are inefficient and expensive, whereas Net Translate, it's a scalable, cost-effective solution, and it will operate at a fraction of the cost. So really great news. This week we have secured our first order for the technology, and it was from the very client that started the process, but it's for a different purpose. It's not what they initially came to us about. I think that's the beauty of innovation. You solve one problem, you open up other opportunities from the work, and it's just the beginning. We've got many orders pending for the technology, and we're expecting this to be a proper game-changing solution in the market. So language should never be a barrier to great customer experience, and with Net Translate it isn't, and I'm now, hopefully, going to play a little video. he says.
Hi, it's Mark. How can I help?
हाँ, यह मार्क है. मैं कैसे मदद कर सकता हूँ?
हाय मार्क, मेरा नाम राज है. मुझे आपसे एक सवाल पूछना है.
Hi Mark, my name is Raj. I have a question to ask you.
Yes, of course. What is the question?
हाँ बिल्कुल. सवाल क्या है?
मैं एक नया घर में मूव हो गया और उधर एक खिड़की टूटा हुआ है.
I moved into a new house and there's a window broken.
I'm sorry to hear that. Which window is it?
मुझे यह सुनकर दुख हुआ. यह कौन सी खिड़की है?
ऊपर स्पेयर कमरे में है.
Upstairs is in the spare room.
Okay, thanks. When can we come and fix it?
ठीक है, धन्यवाद. हम कब आ सकते हैं और इसे ठीक कर सकते हैं?
फ्राइडे सुबह हो सकता है क्या?
Can it be Friday morning?
Yes, I'll get that booked for Friday the 5th of June at 10 a.m.
हाँ, मैं इसे शुक्रवार 5 जून को सुबह 10 बजे बुक कर लूंगा.
ये बहुत अच्छा है, शुक्रिया.
That's great, thank you.
Not a problem. Goodbye.
कोई समस्या नहीं है. अलविदा.
Oh, that's brilliant. Spot on, yeah.
So the two people there on the call. So one is Gil, who's at the back somewhere, and the other was Arun in the business. So Arun hadn't experienced the technology. Gil invited him to a call, shared the premise of what we're going to do, and he was absolutely blown away. He said it's like talking to his mother on the phone. You know, the phraseology of the system and how it worked was absolutely perfect. So it was really good to hear his reaction. So innovation doesn't stop there. We're working on lots of other things, and we're always open to hearing ideas and requirements that you've got. I talked about Alexa workflows with SIP integration. So SIP, it's digital calling. We're able to use Alexa devices to initiate workflows, so two-way communication, so that workflows can be initiated and fulfilled, but also deliver these calls into contact centers and telephony platforms as well, so that one of the initial use cases we're looking at is care for the elderly and care homes, so that people can talk to Alexa and get the support at home and the care that they need. NetX core routing enhancements. So one of the things we've heard about is the opportunity for hyper personalization. So we've now got the ability with our platform for dynamic core routing that we can link to business rules, and that's now embedded directly into the call flows and into the platform, so that you can incorporate both inbound calls or external calls. So as these communications are coming in, we can identify the number that's been called, or the person, the number that's called, or the number that someone's calling from, and then make dynamic routing decisions automatically based upon that. So I think that talks to some of the opportunity around personalization in the future, where we can start to tie up database information as well. NetX announcements. So again, at exchange level, we're able to make announcements as we see calls coming in. We can use AWS Poly to select the voice, so AI technology, or upload MP3 files. And again, it's about creating this personal, professional branded approach to every interaction. Call recording and analytics. So we can provide call recording across the network, and we'll see this more and more, the importance of understanding interactions and learning from that. And finally, the other one I was just going to touch on was Britannic Process Engine, so an AI prompt-powered workflow and automation toolkit So again, the idea is that you can build workflows, you can automate processes, but we can now start to leverage some of the capability of AI prompts to be able to look at the nuances of what's done, what's fed back, and what actions are taken. It can integrate with existing data sets and applications using open APIs and webhooks. And we've built, we've got this technology in operation, so we've built some interesting scenarios around recruitment. So, bringing CVs in, looking at comparing against job descriptions and competency, and actually going through and scoring the evaluation process so that we're helping to, streamline that process and, importantly, make sure there's no bias in the process as well. So through the Innovation Hub, we continue to look at new ideas and how we test and how we bring these technologies to market. But there's lots of change. We've got some great partners, some of which are here today. Technology keeps moving at pace. So we've launched, there's a screenshot there, we've launched the Britannic Marketplace. So this is an area on the website. We're going to continue to showcase and spotlight technologies and capabilities that we've got because, I hear it far too often, you don't know what you don't know. So we want to make this technology accessible for people. So there'll be, demonstrations, pilots, so we can actually help to put it in the hands of our clients. So we've got a world-class ecosystem with some great tech vendors, service providers, and innovators. And together we can co-deploy, design, deploy, develop solutions that can really help to support transformation and improvement. We feed into vendor roadmaps. So again, we've got some great ideas and insight and feedback from our clients. So we feed that back into people that we work with. And then it's about that consultative approach, understanding the why and how we align the technology to make a difference. Adam, who's here. Hello, Adam. Adam is IT manager from Envirovent, a leading UK manufacturer of low energy domestic ventilation equipment. He recognized the need for a modern contact center to streamline call handling and improve first call resolution and customer experience. So he got in contact. We'd worked with Adam before at a previous company, and working together, we were able to implement technology to not just improve the way in which they handle calls and interactions from customers, but Adam came to this event last year, and he heard about call branding and branded messaging, deployed it within the business, and it's really helped to increase the answer rate. Communications have become richer, more trustworthy, instantly recognizable, and it's led to an increase in answer rate, less inbound calls coming back into the organization where people don't answer the call, they get a voicemail, they then phone back, much better engagement. Some stats there. So failed jobs dropped from 25% in a month to 0. Revenue increased by 20,000 a month, and I think this is great. Customer survey responses increased by 50% as a result of sending out those messages with the logo on. So it just made it a whole more trusted form of communication that people engage with. Adam said about working with us, so I'll read this. Britannic doesn't just implement technology, they help us transform our business. This partnership ensures we deliver outstanding service, build trust, and achieve measurable results. And again, it's those sort of comments. Adam, love working with you and the team, and it's great to hear that feedback. Another client, Plus Dane Housing, Social Housing Association, 13,500 homes, 30,000 tenants, really tough industry and tough job. And we've worked together to deliver a modern omni-channel contact center solution that streamlined call handling by 10%, reduced waiting times by 60 seconds, and also introduced new forms of communication, digital channels with WhatsApp that's now the preferred channel of communication for clients by now 60%. We were able to surface up messages for urgent attention, so potential high risk areas, and embed quality management, improve visibility, coaching, and consistent delivery. And it's great to see the difference it's made. There's a quote from Natalie, who's the director of customer experience there. We can now see how the solution adds value, increases quality, and helps colleagues handle processes more efficiently while improving the customer experience. And for me, you know, the message from these examples there, these case studies, is simple, that when people embrace technology and change, when processes adapt, and when it's truly embedded, great performance will follow. So let's quickly imagine what happens when the technology is fully operationalized. A customer visits your website, they're greeted and guided by an AI assistant who understands their history, their intent, and their preferences. Interactions requiring human involvement are routed seamlessly to the right person to deal with it, and they're presented with information, context, data, and even suggestions around how to help that person they're talking to. And managers aren't firefighting. You know, they're using AI-driven dashboards to coach teams, to anticipate needs, problems, and drive performance accordingly. Employees don't end their day buried in admin, they feel they've done something meaningful, they've solved real problems and added value and had outcomes that truly matter. And customers feel heard, valued, and supported. And that isn't science fiction, you know, it's what happens when potential becomes performance, and all that technology genuinely is available today. So ask yourself, is tech delivering performance or just potential? Are your workflows, data, and decision models ready for tomorrow's challenges? Are your people empowered to harness AI? And is there someone in your organization driving this change and owning it? And we've learned that technology on its own is never enough. It only delivers value when it's executed with purpose, alignment, and ownership. And the future, we've heard about it, but it's not going to wait for us. Gen AI, automation, immersive communications is accelerating rapidly. And those organizations who operationalize innovation, embed it into their daily work, build these people skills, measure outcomes, and scale responsibly, you know, those are the ones that are going to succeed. And that's the future we're building at Britannic, and it's a future we invite you to join and shape with us. So coming full circle, Lincoln said he would spend 4 of his 6 hours sharpening the axe. As I said, his point was simple: invest in the right foundations, tools, and skills. Sharpen your people, sharpen your processes, and sharpen your culture. And then when the tools arrive, they don't just cut, they transform your organization, and it will thrive. The results are real. So Ian Kelly, Director of Digital Innovation at Plusdane, has said, Britannic gave us not just the right solutions, but the right partnership, helping us transform how we work, how we engage with our customers, and how we plan for the future. So that's the essence of what we do. We don't just deploy technology, we're here to help to embed it, to operationalize it, to deliver measurable, real-world outcomes. And if you remember 3 things from today, it will be these. Technology alone is only potential. Operationalization turns potential into world-class performance. And ownership is the key to making it happen. Together, we can redefine not just how technology performs, but how people, businesses, and society thrives because of it. Thank you.